Hey everyone, welcome back and happy Monday. All right, guys, so as you know, we are going to be back today at 12 p.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific for hot, messy topics. So definitely click on the link in the comment section so you can join us for that. However, right now we're not back to talk about hot, messy topics. We'll save that for the time. We're back to talk about Andy Cohen chiming in on this Melissa Teresa feud. If one of them needs to go, he's also addressing a few other things, and Tamra and Teddy are not letting this Teresa feud go. Yeah, there's a lot to dish into. So before we jump into all of it, you guys know how this works. Do all the YouTube things, smash that like button, show some love, and let's jump right in.
It's time for all your binge-worthy pop culture news. Welcome to Up and Adam.
All right, guys, so I wanted to start off with the Andy Cohen of it all, because when Andy Cohen starts chiming into a conversation, if it's not going your way, you might want to be a little bit nervous about that. And in this situation, I don't know which side he's leaning towards. Thank you to Reality Blurb. Andy Cohen is admitting he can see Teresa or Melissa leaving the Real Housewives of New Jersey. He's explaining how they were refreshing amid the feud. Plus, he discusses the new Real Housewives of Beverly Hills season without Rinna, Scandival, and the RHONJ cast. The executive addressed the current state of several Bravo franchises, including the newest season of Beverly Hills without Rinna. When Andy was asked if he could imagine a Real Housewives of New Jersey cast without either Melissa or Teresa, the producer told Us Weekly, "I can imagine anything." He shared it's hard to envision the show without both stars, though Teresa stated in last month's reunion that she can't wait to never see Melissa's face again after today, and told her sister-in-law, "You're leaving." In his recent interview, Andy said the level of hatred between Teresa and Melissa was at a 10 during the reunion, and watching them fight, it deeply saddened him. Speaking with E! News, Andy also shared his overall take on the sister-in-law drama. "I thought that there was something very refreshing about them this season, coexisting to the point of everyone realizing how much they hated each other, but they were around each other, so I think that they can coexist." While he admitted the reunion had a pretty negative ending, he suggested hope for the future. "We'll see. I don't know, but we'll see." I mean, that is a good point, because Melissa this season was so obviously not trying to kind of roll over for Teresa. She was just like, it is what it is. Like, I'm not going to fight with her. You know what? She thinks that we're monsters. She hates me and her brother. Oh my God, we're the worst family. Oh my God, I love family. Whatever. I don't care. And it was sort of refreshing to see that when they're not fighting, but when they get to fighting again, it's like the same old storyline. And fans really are sick of it. Fans don't want to see any more of it. It was kind of like the Lisa Rinna Kathy thing, except that only lasted one season. It got so exhausting so quick. That's where we're at with Teresa, Louis, Joe, and Melissa. It's exhausting. And fans don't want to keep watching the same thing. It's like, come on, give us something new. While he admitted the reunion again had a pretty negative ending, he said, "We'll see." He also addressed the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills season 13, which was filmed without Lisa Rinna. "It went great. It's fresh, it's new, it's fun." He then teased the all-new cast of the Real Housewives of New York and said, "Once we started shooting with the women, I was like, oh, we cast the right group. I'm excited for people to get to know them, and I think once people hear their backstories also, it's really powerful." As for the Vanderpump Rules affair scandal involving Tom Sandoval and Raquel, he said, "I think we're all taking a permanent break. It sounds like Raquel's taking care of herself, and that's what she should be doing." When asked about the baby Dior dress, which Jen Shah gave as a gift to his daughter Lucy, he said, "I donated it." His decision seems to indicate he's distancing himself from the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City star, who's now in prison after pleading guilty to fraud. And, so many people always ask me, how is Jen Shah? What's Jen Shah been up to? I'm like, I don't know. I get that so many times. People will DM me and they're like, "Adam, do you know how Jen Shah's doing in prison?" I'm like, I absolutely do not. But I do know that her assistant, or her former assistant, still posts on her social media. So if you ever want to kind of see what she's up to, it's very easy to do so on that. But no, 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 I haven't been keeping up with anything. I feel like it's time to move on. All right. So since it's time to move on, why don't we pan over to a little bit more drama? I feel like, honestly, this drama with Tamra and Teresa, I know I've said this multiple times, but guys, I'm taking credit for this one. When I had Teresa and her co-host from Namaste Bitches podcast, Melissa Feaster, on my YouTube channel, and I did an interview, I asked her, what are your thoughts when people compare your podcast to other Bravo stars like Tamra and Teddy? And she's like, oh, they're shit stirrers, right? They're shit stirrers. Well, that clip got picked up and Tamara addressed it. And then I believe she made a podcast title about it. And then her and Teresa have literally just gone at each other's throats ever since. Like, this has just been the ongoing battle that won't stop. So much so that, I mean, I definitely, you know how they do Squash That Beef at BravoCon, where Andy Cohen brings people out and he does the Watch What Happens Live, Squash That Beef. This is definitely going to be a Squash That Beef moment. 1,000,000%. Okay, let's get back into it now for a second, shall we? Tamara Judge slams Teresa Giudice as the queen of denial and says that she was caught in her lies, as Teddy calls Louis scary and suggests that he is not a fun villain. Tamara's podcast host, Teddy Mellencamp, shared her thoughts on Teresa's husband, Louis, suggesting he isn't even a fun villain, and she called him scary. On their Two T's in a Pod podcast, Tamara addressed the reunion drama between Teresa, her brother Joe, and his wife Melissa. Teresa was caught in a lot of lies. I believe there was a conversation about her going to dinner with the Gorgas, and she said it never happened. And they say that she tried to hook her up with one of their friends, Shane, I think his name was, and they showed the picture, and then she said, I mean, she is like the queen of denial. She really is. Let's call her Cleopatra. Teddy then unleashed her views on Louis over his alleged threats at the reunion regarding information that he may or may not have against castmates, and she said, the problem that I have is that Louis isn't even a fun villain. He's just scary. Even with his Scooby-Doo threats, like when he's like, in due time, you'll get yours. She suggested that Teresa's relationship with Louis is not beneficial to her. At this point now, I've just started to feel bad for Teresa. I think she knows that she's gotten herself into a really freaking deep, dark hole. And so just acting out, because what is she going to do now? Tamara said, I worry for her. I'm scared for what her future looks like with this guy. Later on, Teddy suggested that Teresa and Louis should have spoken with Joe separately in individual interviews. I would have had a sit down between Louis and Joe and Teresa and Joe. I think those two, without anybody else, and just let those people actually have the conversation. I actually really agree with Teddy on this one. I think that Joe and Melissa, it should have been a one-on-one or a two-on-one or a two-on-two, whatever it needed to be. And Andy Cohen should have mediated it as a separate. If we're doing the same thing for Scandival and adding stuff in there as bonus content, they should have done the same thing and then put the bonus content on Peacock. And maybe Andy Cohen could have served as a mediator, because when you have so many people on the couch and then Jennifer Aiden talking for Teresa and then the other people chiming into the conversation, you never really get anything done, especially when Teresa and Melissa, when you have an audience too to react in front of, I think that changes it. But go ahead and comment below. Let us know what you think. And of course, get ready, because we will be in the live chat right here at 12 p.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific for hot, messy topics. I love you guys, and we'll see you soon. Bye.